Hey YouTube, this is Eric. This is a little quick follow-up video on the stream me, Johnny, and George did on July 8th on the Jeffrey Epstein being arrested. This was just on Chris. We found on the show, Johnny brought up the name Rosa Monckton, who's on Epstein's black book list. But we confirmed just now that Rosa Monckton is the sister of Knight of Malta Christoper Monckton. Here's the black book here from Jeffrey Epstein. You can see here Rosa Monckton right here from Asprey Gerald Limited. She has a quite a few entries on the black book. Interesting, we covered this. Rupert Murdoch's on the black book of Jeffrey Epstein. Would you look at that? Rupert Murdoch, the Knight of St. Gregory the Great. His wife is a dame of St. Gregory. Rupert Murdoch, I'll show you the article on this video. He literally compared his company News Corp to the Jesuits when speaking at Georgetown University in 2008. Rupert Murdoch has also come out and said that the Jews control the media, which is what part of this, Epstein psyop will do, is the way that they're going to spin it. They're going to spin it towards a Jewish-controlled narrative. But you see Rupert Murdoch's here. We mentioned here Juliette Moore. We covered her on the show, the actress. But this is the woman here, Rosa Monckton. Here's her wiki here. Show you a picture of her. She's an English businesswoman. She's also a knight of the British Empire. You see her. Her elder brother is the Knight of Malta, Christoper Monckton. And actually, Christoper Monckton is a columnist on WorldNet Daily also. That's actually where I think I first came across this Knight of Malta, was on WorldNet Daily. He's a columnist on WorldNet Daily alongside fellow Knight of Malta, Jesuit-trained Patrick Buchanan, big anti-Semite. You see Rosa Monckton. She's involved with. So this is pretty sinister. She's going to Jeffrey Epstein's mansion, and she's involved with the Acorns Children Hospice for the care of life of limited children in England, and she's also involved with Down syndrome charities, definitely preying on the most vulnerable kids through these organizations. She's also involved with the Bulgarian Abandoned Children's Trust, a British charity dedicated to helping disabled and disadvantaged children. So she's involved with all of this while going to Epstein's mansion and island. She's also involved with Team Dominica, a charity named after her daughter, which supports young adults with learning disabilities. You see here, she was made a Knight of the Order of the British Empire. I'll show you a picture here of Rosa Monckton. But I'll play the clip from the brief that we did, just because I wasn't. Johnny brought up Monckton. I just didn't make the connection that she was the sister of Christoper Monckton. Here's the photo of her here. Apparently, she was Princess Diana's best friend too. There's a photo of her with Princess Diana. That's interesting. And again, her brother, Lord Christoper Monckton, is a Knight of Malta. You see here, Christoper Monckton was an advisor to British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher from 1982 to 1986. This guy's powerful. He served as the secretary for the Centre for Policy Studies, Economic Forward Strategy, Health and Employment Study Groups. He was the deputy leader of the UK Independence Party, and he was the UK Independence Party's president in Scotland. He established a specialist consultancy company giving technical advice to corporations and governments. That's a great role for a Knight of Malta. I'm just going to highlight that right there. You see here, he's also a part of the lectures to undergraduates at the Cambridge Union Society. I'm not going to read all of this, but you see here, look at this. Monckton is a liveryman of the Worshipful Company of Borderers, an officer, Borderers, that's definitely a Catholic order, the Worshipful Company of Borderers, I haven't heard of that, but he's an officer of the Order of St. John Jerusalem, a Knight of Honor and Devotion of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. This guy is the brother of Rosa Monckton, who's going to Epstein's Island. These are Vatican connections the mainstream media and a lot of the alternative media won't bring up with Jeffrey Epstein. Look at this. Rosa Monckton, who's going to Epstein Island, older brother, is a Knight Honor and Devotion of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta and a member of the Roman Catholic Mass Media Commission. Would you look at that? Look into who's a member of that group. Lord Christoper Monckton is also a qualified. This guy's in the House of Lords. He's a qualified day skipper of the Royal Yachting Association. Also, I'll show you a picture of him. I linked this Independent Institute bio in the description. He's the third Viscount. So you can see he has his aristocratic title. His sister is going to the Epstein Island parties. There he is right there. Lord Christoper Monckton. WND columnist also. And I think I just read this guy is very involved in the British government, was a top advisor to Margaret Thatcher, and has his own consultancy firm that lobbies governments and corporations. Are you kidding me? But here's the clip from the brief where Johnny mentions Monckton. Here, I'm just going to play this.
Monckton, that came up. Rosa Monckton. Where have we seen that before? Is that a relation to good old Lord Monckton, the Roman Catholic? George, Rosa Monckton. What's Asprey and Gerald Limited?
I just didn't make the connection to Lord Christoper Monckton, but that's who Johnny was referring to. He's referring to this guy right here, Lord Christopher. He's the third Viscount Monckton. So that's who Johnny was referring to when he said the Catholic Lord Monckton.
Juliet Moore. What a surprise.
You see here, so and they go. Juliet Moore's on the list. Where is that here? But look at Rupert Murdoch's on the list. I'm just going to cover this. Look at, and actually it was Fox News in Johnny's video here. You can find the Fox News article. I'll direct you to that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I'll read this here. Like when the cops initially raided Jeff Epstein's house, I'm going to bookmark this. Saved it. I would download this article in case they take it off the internet with the information about the Pope. I'm going to download this today. But look at this. So when Epstein's house was initially raided in Palm Beach, there was a photo of Epstein in a photo. So there's Epstein in a photo standing next to a Catholic Pope, but not shown or hidden cameras found on his property. But look at this. The police found a picture of Epstein with an unnamed Catholic Pope when they initially raided his house in Palm Beach. Like, are you kidding me? But I would definitely, if you want to download this, I'll show you how to do this. If you hit Control Print. And if you have a Reader PDF software thing on your computer, Adobe or Foxit, you could just, when you print it, you see the destination is Foxit Reader, and it saves it right there. Sometimes you have to delete extra pages. Yeah, so you'd have to. The article ends on page 5. I'm gonna show you. This is how I document all my news stories. I'm just gonna show you guys that. But I recommend you get this article. But let's see. So Rupert Murdoch is on Epstein's list. Oh, let's see your documents. Okay, so let's go back to my Reddit Jesuit World Order blog. Oh, so now the Fox News article with the Epstein with the unnamed Pope just comes up in my Reader software. Now you have it permanently just like that. So if they delete it off the internet, like these papist slime balls do, trying to get all the evidence connecting Epstein to the papacy off the net, which I could see them actually trying to do that. Now you have this forever, and it won't matter if they, do the cowardly act and delete the story. Okay, but I'm just going to show you here about Rupert Murdoch, because Rupert Murdoch is on the Epstein Island list. We covered that in the show, I'm pretty sure. But I just want to show you the comments about Rupert Murdoch. Okay. I did this about a month ago. This is from the Georgetown Voice. The Georgetown Voice says, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation is just like the Jesuits, he told a mostly full Gaston Hall yesterday. Except, quote, except we don't insist on vows or poverty or chastity. And I quote the article from the LA Times. I have the archive where Murdoch was made the Knight of St. Gregory the Great. You see, Murdoch supports, and his wife support the Archdiocesan Education Foundation and other Catholic causes, according to a priest, Father Gregory Quayo. Okay, then I'd link, you can see Rupert Murdoch is gaslighting about Jewish control of the media. But here's the quote where Rupert Murdoch, this is quoted from Slate.com. This is from his speech at the Jesuit Georgetown Gatton Hall. Okay, Rupert Murdoch said, the Jesuits and News Corp attract highly talented people from all over the world. The Jesuits and News Corp like to challenge the status quo. and both the Jesuits and News Corp have a reputation of independence and innovation. Of course, there are some differences. I don't want to discourage anyone from don't want to discourage anyone from considering the priesthood, but I will tell you that at News Corp, we don't insist on vows of poverty or chastity, Murdoch said. End quote. As chief executive, I can tell you I'm not sure about the degree of obedience either. End quote. Well, I know a top executive at News Corp, he joined right after 9/11, but the Jesuit Georgetown professor Veet Din, who actually drafted the Patriot Act, yes, a Jesuit Georgetown professor drafted the Patriot Act, the most like totalitarian document in the history of the United States, like the death of American democracy. That's what the Patriot Act is. And it's interesting because after the Jesuit Professor Veet Din signed the Patriot Act, the New England Patriots started winning all these rigged Super Bowls in the Jesuit-controlled National Catholic Football League, which is, it's interesting. But you see, Rupert Murdoch literally said the Jesuits is like News Corp, and you see he's on the Epstein list. You see, Rupert Murdoch, right there. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that with Rose. There's more connections to the Vatican to Epstein with Rose Monckton, and Rosa Monckton is going to the Epstein Island. She's involved with like 5 or 6 different charities and organizations for like disabled children, and she's going. Look at all the entries. She has more entries than the average person. So she was frequently going to the Epstein Island. And her brother, literally Lord Christoper Monckton, is a powerful Knight of Malta in England. But yeah, I'm going to end it there, YouTube. I don't want this video to go on too long, but peace and love, and I'll catch you on the next one.